My name is Jael Naliaka Miluni. I am 38 years old. I am a designer by profession and I am from Nairobi, Kenya.
Thank you.
Well, I define it three ways. The first one is the act of sexual contact between one or two persons um, by, um, by a penis to the vagina, or it could be a sexual contact between through the mouth to the genitalia or anus or whatever. The third way I define it as sexual contact by use of sex toys between two individuals or more through the genitalia or the anus. I I define them three ways. I define it three ways. Yeah. Yes, I do. I had sex quite late in my life, but I remember it very well. I was 19 when I had first sexual contact. Yeah, yeah. I was 19.
Did you see anything or hear anything about sex before then?
No, I had sisters, older sisters before me, but my household was quite special. My parents never talked to me about sex. My mother, we didn't have that relationship that she could talk to me about sex. Weird enough, before my dad died, I was comfortable to speak about sex, not sexual matters, as in my changing body to my father. But we never had a sex talk with my mom. It never happened.
Mm.
So when it happened, it wasn't that special, but I know it was sex. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. Well, right now I'm married. It's quite a big part of my marriage because I promised myself I will not marry a boring person in bed. So it's quite there in the marriage. Um, it helps a lot with my mental situation, with the kids, and it's quite there. It's quite present in my marriage life. Well, before it was to sex with my that then boyfriend, or I'm not dating but I'm having sex, casual sex. So from the comparison between now and then, it's like this is with my partner every day, and before it was with multiple guys, not multiple, with the guys I'm dating at that time. Yeah.
So definitely the role it plays right now has changed from when you used to have it before you were in a committed relationship.
Yes.
Okay.
I do. Because if you communicate and be honest about your sexual desires with your partner, it can make sex more pleasurable and more fun. Because if you're not honest, if you don't communicate properly about sex, about what you like or your desires, it can just be it could be meaningless per se. Yeah. Yeah. To be honest, I love sex and everything that comes with it. But if I'm not into it, if I'm not in the mood, I find it an inconvenience. Uh, I'm a I'm not an anxious person, but I get anxious when I'm not mentally fit. So, yes and no. I think it's different. They're two different things. Intimacy is just, it's more than action itself. Sex is, you know, in, out, in, out. Intimacy to me is, the kissing, the touching, the foreplay, the setting your mind straight, the setting the mood. And most times I believe intimacy doesn't really have to be sex. You can just be intimate and not have the actual penetration. So I think there's a difference to me. There's the sex and intimacy. Yeah, there's a difference.
Okay.
Oh yeah, sure, absolutely.
And what is casual sex to you?
No commitment whatsoever. Casual sex can be, I meet you today, we have sex. Tomorrow, I've never met you. It can be casual, but more or less committed, but it's known that we're doing this for fun. There's no commitment per se. Yeah. Well, consent, it's the permission to do something to you or for you. Some kind of agreement for something to be done to you, for you. And it's very important because even in my kind of situation, I'm married, but my husband just can't turn me over and say today I wanna penetrate your anus. As in, there has to be consent. I have to agree. Would I want that? Is it okay? It's just basically asking for permission, and it's important because it avoids a lot of misunderstandings, and yeah, it's important. Oh, I'm loud. I have a big mouth there. Because as I mentioned before, I vowed to myself, I promised myself that I will not be in boring marriage. Boring marriage to me is not just having babies, it's the sex, it's the freedom to express myself. And since sex is a very big part of me, I'm very vocal about what I like, what I would like, what I don't like. And right now, I think we're in a very good place with my partner. Um, we are very, very, very open about this. It's nothing we are shy about. We don't judge. When I feel like I want to do something else, he giggles, but we end up doing it, and it's pleasurable for both of us. So I can say it's very good.
I'm happy to hear that. An additional question on top of this: have you always been like this? Has it always been easy for you to communicate your displeasure, or has it been a process for you to be able to get here to this point where you and your husband can be able to have this kind of conversations?
Well, it was a process because, for one, I told you I didn't have a sex talk with with my mother. So it's something that I've learned from friends, from watching things, from reading things. And I remember, because I cannot tell you anything pleasant about my first encounter. It was painful. It was nothing to remember about. But after that, when I understood my body and understood sex, I just got myself, being vocal. It scared some men away. It got them embarrassed. They were embarrassed most of the time. They thought maybe I was too vocal. But I have to enjoy sex. So I have to talk about it. If the sex was bad, I will definitely tell you. And if I need some things done different, yes. And vice versa. I would like my partner or my whoever to tell me what we can do different for us to enjoy it. That's the whole point of sex, enjoying it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes. There's a lot of things I enjoy, but there's that one thing that I enjoy. And, excuse me. And when I'm having sex, that has to be in it. I might not tell you what it is because you'll think I'm crazy. But but apart from having being free with your body, with your partner, and not being shy, and there's that one thing that you do that makes the whole experience you know pleasurable, worth it. Like I had sex, otherwise I didn't. Yeah, I believe I have. My ex-boyfriend, we were both very sexually attracted to each other, but there are times that I felt, not enough, and it made my, of course, I remember that the duration of time I was with him, the last year, I wasn't very, how can I put it? I wasn't, I didn't want sex with him the way I had sex with him before, because I felt maybe the love it's going down, and we were in a bad place, and as much as we enjoyed sex together, it wasn't the same. So yeah, there was a time it happens. Now it's the basic things. You're tired and maybe you're not in the mood. But I've changed that. I've communicated with my husband that I can't have sex with you because you want sex with me. We have to have sex. We want sex together. So he gets that I love sex in the morning. So in the evening he won't touch me. We will just cuddle. But he gets my body. He just knows, and I know. But I can't have sex just because he's hard. No, no. Can I say that? Okay. At the moment?
Sorry?
At the moment, or
Let's say at the moment, and then maybe you could also tell me previously how it was like.
yeah. When I had my first baby, I have 3 kids. When I have my first baby, because my husband and I got married really quickly, my body was different before the kid, before the pregnancy, and of course I was a little bit conscious uh, then, but he was very very keen to tell me that I should not worry about it. So he made me comfortable. I worked. I worked uh, for the body I wanted after because I didn't like it. He loved it. He told me it's beautiful. I had just had a kid. I should not worry. But I wanted to like what I see. I wanted to love. I wanted to be comfortable, to be naked with the lights on, with my partner, wear some lingerie and feel sexy. So yeah, there was a time I felt a little bit about my body, but I worked through it, and yeah.
Now you're back in a place where you feel positive.
Yes. Even after the other 2 kids, I knew I didn't want to feel like that with him. So immediately after the baby, I do things right because it's important for me to be comfortable, not to be told that it's okay. If I'm not comfortable, then you can't convince me. Yeah. No, in my opinion. Well, I won't encourage kids to have sex left, right, and center. Yeah, but for this concept of keep your virginity until you're married, you know, right now, I think 80% of women are getting out of marriages because it's not working. Can you imagine if you wait 40 years to get married and to lose your virginity? I don't see the point, to be honest. I feel like if you're ready sexually and you feel comfortable about it, I think sex is a very big part of humanity, to be honest. So, in my opinion, I don't go with this narrative of you should wait and keep your virginity until you get that person. Because look at the world now. A lot of women are single, raising kids by themselves, adopting kids, getting out of marriages, or staying in marriages which don't work. So I feel like if you're feeling sexually active and you feel ready, go for it. Sex was not discussed in my family at all, even with my sisters. Well, they were bigger. And ironically, my sisters, apart from one, after high school, you know, they all got pregnant immediately because, you know, they were hearing the sex talk outside their household. So the first experiment got them pregnant. And now, when I think about it now, I really do not blame them because it was not discussed in my household. I discussed my changing body with my father because I was not very close to my mom. But there was no time that I ever thought of having a sex talk with my parents. It was a taboo. Even with my sisters, they did sit me down and tell me, oh, look, I finished school, I got pregnant. Don't follow this route. This is what gets you to. It was not discussed. Even after they've messed up, at that time, it felt like that. I learned about sex way after high school through friends from school, through small interactions with men, because I remember I was very uncomfortable being alone with a man when I was just starting to realize that, you know, my body is changing. So no, there was no dialogue because we didn't discuss sex in my family. I had this thing in my mind, a voice telling me that if I have sex, I'm gonna die. Because how it's been programmed in your head since you're a little girl is that if you have sex, you're gonna die. If it's a bad thing to have, it's a bad thing to do. That's why I lost my virginity way, I don't know. It was like a traumatic thing, you know. You're there, you're like, I'm gonna die. I did this, I'm gonna die. But yeah, it it did have an impact because I was wired to believe that if you have sex, you're not gonna have AIDS or you're going to die. So yeah, it did affect me. Hmm. As much as we are very comfortable with our bodies when you're dancing, and when you see this different kinds of dances, the the rhythm and how they're moving, it's very sexual, but we do not speak about the actual sex. It's because, personally, it's because of how it's wired in my brain when I was growing up. We don't talk about sex, and you don't know. Nowadays, there's a lot of uh, sex confusion. You know, you cannot just assume that I like men, I love women. So it's complicated to like start a conversation about sex because you don't know the orientation of the other person. So the dance and the art, it's all in one. Either you're gay, lesbian, straight, whatever. It's all the same. So it's basically it's like a language that translates the sex more than the conversation itself. Yeah. before, it was a different story. But now women are, to be honest, women are more out there expressing themselves sexually than men. Because before it was, men can have 6 girls and, a girl can just have this one person. But now girls, they know. And, the books they read now, the internet has changed a lot. So you like this person, but the sex is not that great. And you're thinking, I could keep this nice person and have better sex with somebody else. So women have had this narrative of you being this kind of person that was before. But now I believe, we are going in a different direction. I believe so, yeah. Porn and sex in the community. Well, this will differ from person to person. Personally, I'm not a big fan of pornography because I do quite much about myself. It depends. This depends. Because from what I've seen in porn, there's a lot of it's not reality. It's not reality because a lot of this, well, it depends on what kind of porn you're watching, to be honest. It's different. As I said, there's a lot of people who are sexually attracted to different people. So I think it's helped with some people's, maybe confidence or being vocal about things that they want because they've seen this and they relate, so they become vocal about it with their sexual partners. I saw it on porn, I saw it somewhere. That, yes, but I think it's very unrealistic because for me, sex comes very, very naturally. But yeah, it's a yes and no. And for this, it depends on who you ask. For me, um, I, I can't say since I have been sexually active that I've seen something on porn that I wanted to try it with my partner. So it depends on who the context suits. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Are we
for your
done?
time. Yes, we're
Okay.
done. We're done. Thank you so much, Jael.
You're welcome.